Hey, this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric, and I make apps. Now, today I want to talk about why you should get the muggles to test your software. Okay, so today I'm coming to you from Bletchley Park, the birthplace of modern day computing. I came out here to visit the National Museum of Computing here at Bletchley Park and to see all the stuff about the Enigma machine, everything like that. And I was going to film this video outside, but it's really, really windy today. It's like a very blustery day today, so filming it from inside the car. But anyway, museum's really good. If you have a chance to see it, definitely see it. And a lot of the attractions here were like, well, the exhibits, the little displays and stuff. A lot of them were meant for people who are not very technical. So there's a whole bunch about World War II, which I knew very, very little about, the tubes and everything like that. But then there was a lot about more modern day computing. And I have to say, it's very humbling when you start to see computers where you're like, I used to have that computer. We used to have that computer at my school. I used to have that. I used to, whatever. So there's a lot of stuff where you start thinking, wow, I'm really getting old, all that stuff. You see stuff in a museum on display. And then there was a bit there about software languages and stuff too, which was interesting to see, like, when JavaScript started, when LiveScript became JavaScript, and then when, Visual Basic came onto the scene, and when that switched to C# and all this kind of stuff. There was this little timeline of programming languages. And a lot of that stuff, the exhibits and everything, were meant for people who don't know very much about computers or who aren't in the industry. So a lot of that stuff you just kind of skim over thinking, okay, that's for people who don't know that much about it. The normal people, the people who aren't coders, the muggles, normal people, right? Those are the type of, and that's, which is good because they get to learn a little bit more about it. And I was more in, but the other stuff was way above my head, especially stuff with the Enigma machine and everything. Very, very interesting day out. So let's go back to this, the muggles, or the mere mortals, as we called them in the past, the non-coders. Those are the people you should get to do your software testing. I've had this conversation many times where we get a junior developer and we think, okay, we'll get this guy to do our testing for us. Or we'll have testers who are not technical. And the first thing they say is, oh, maybe, or you give them like an app or a piece of software and they say, oh, maybe, I'm just not very technical. Maybe I'm just not using it right. And those are the ideal people to be testing your software. A lot of the times we test our own stuff because we don't have anyone to show it to. We don't have anybody to use the applications for us, or we give it to friends and family and they just, they're saying what they think we want them to hear, which is, oh yeah, no, it's really good. But sometimes it's really good to have somebody who just, I want to say totally non-technical, but for most of the part, non-technical person. The person who isn't thinking like, oh, I see why you did that because you had to, I see why it's taking so long because you have to save to the cloud or whatever. Those kind of excuses to a mere mortal, to a muggle, don't really count. A lot of times your testers need to be those people who are not technical, who are not, you want to get the, I've hired people before who were non-technical, right? Where they came and worked in the office and they were like, oh, this is too fast for me. This is too much. But I'm like, no, you are the ideal person to be working on this because you are like what the normal user would be like. You're the people. Yeah, I don't want technical people using this application. I want this to have a broader appeal. So, a lot of the times, and I've seen this in organizations I've worked for where they'll get like a developer who's not really, doing anything at the moment to go test stuff. And he starts looking for stuff like SQL. I mean, it's good in a certain way because he'll start looking for stuff like SQL injection and things like that. But, he stops looking at usability in general. So, the mere mortals, the muggles, the people who don't understand the code, they're important. And those are the people you should get to do your testing. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. I really just wanted to show you guys a little bit of this museum. It was really, really cool. If you get out to the UK, definitely visit Bletchley Park. Anyway, that is it for today. I'll talk to you guys again next time.